Former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmed Gumi have called for special courts to be created to deal promptly with cases of banditry, kidnapping, ransom demanding, and unlawful carrying of weapons in the country. They also stressed the need for the people, irrespective of their affiliation, to desist from the blame game, as well as attributing ethnicity, religion, and region to crimes committed by criminals. They asked the people to respect one another, show tolerance and accommodation where necessary, as well as condemn criminal acts no matter where it was committed and by whom it was committed. Lawyer and public affairs analyst Olatunbosun Oshufowora joins me now to bring perspective to this. Bosun, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Great. All right. And certainly I'll be joined by Olayinka Oladaniel shortly on the show as well, and we'll take a look at this. But let me start with you. Now, when it comes to the issue of special courts, this is not the first, this is not the second, this is not the third time there are calls for the creation of special courts for different things, either election matters or corruption cases, and so on. What difference will the special courts for banditry and all of that, what would it be?
For me personally, I feel that this issue of banditry we're overstretching it, and also they're giving it undue attention. All right.
Undue attention?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try to understand, because the point there is this is something disturbing the whole country right now.
I think about maybe undue favoritism, in the sense that, they're pampering these people. We've seen, same Sheikh Gumi come on and try to play it down like these are people, these are your people. In fact, some went as far as saying that they're not criminals, they're only bandits. We've had things like that.
I recall him saying, don't call them criminals. There are people who...
you can imagine that. Now you want special courts for them. And I'm like, okay, one, what is wrong with the courts that are available?
Okay.
All right, then what are you trying to insinuate? Then also, the process of creating a special court, it's not something that just happens overnight. Then what is the intent? That's basically, because if you look at the narrative, that you've tried to play it down that these are not criminals. Meanwhile, by every definition, by law and even dictionary definition, banditry is an organized crime. It's no less a crime. In fact, it's a big crime next to treason. Banditry is next to treason. Now, and the courts are there, the courts are adequate, the laws are adequate to handle those people, but you want to create a special court, then you now create a special law, then you now create a special dimension. For all you care now, tomorrow they'll create a special court, then the next thing you see that, for being found guilty of banditry, just go to prison one day, then come back the next day. We've seen narratives about rehabilitating them. Even some went as far as talking about amnesty for them. These are criminals. These are people who have taken away people's livelihood, taken away lives.
Yeah.
Then you're now trying to play down whatever it is. I'm not in support of special courts.
All right, let's have Olayinka Oladaniel join us on the show. Good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning, Via.
These are two lawyers that will give us perspective to what we're talking about. Now, the issue of special courts for banditry or for bandits and kidnapping and people who are carrying weapons unlawfully and all of that has been on the front burner since Sheikh Gumi paid former President Olusegun Obasanjo a visit, and these were part of what they came up with, asking the government to look into it. I wonder what you make of this.
Well, personally, I've looked at it, and really, to be sincere, for me, from my hand, I will advocate for special courts. Why? You see, this is not just peculiar to Nigeria.
All right.
Even in the international world, the Bulgarian, the Afghanistans, the US, and all that, it took them time. Also, because there were debates, even for a number of years, before some of them even finally agreed to have a special court for some of those things. In our courts today, the judiciary system today, in fact, I'm sure it's not strange to us when one of the judges died. one of the Supreme Court judges died, and we had another one, and a judge from the Court of Appeal said, "Come, you people are not going to kill me. I will take time out to rest." You need to know the loads of cases. Let's even go all the way to magistrate courts. We are talking about superior court. Let's even go to magistrate courts. You find out that they have so much to do on their table that also affects justice, because there's delay in some of these things that they're supposed to do with, because why? You go to a particular court, probably you have a court is dealing with over 200 files.
Okay.
And now coming back to that, see, because if you don't
because of time now,
yes,
I'm going to put you on hold, and then we'll come back. You will still make this point, because we need to land as to whether the courts are
very well
or not. All right. You're watching TVC Breakfast. Let's take a short break for some messages. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Olatun Bosun Shifowora, who is a lawyer. I also have another lawyer too, Olainka Ola Daniels, and we've been talking about this. So, before we went on the short break, you were making your points clear. You were enlightening us on the need for court or the otherwise of special courts for banditry.
Yes, I was talking about the overload work that the judiciary going through at the moment. Now, banditry, terrorism, and all that in Nigeria has taken another shape entirely. I mean, this is what we now live with. Every day you hear this. Now, the reason why some of us or some people are saying that, okay, who have they convicted? Who have they jailed? What have they done? Is because, they still go to the general court. And when they go to general court, they adjourn, and you know what it is. You don't just convict someone without fair hearing and all that. And the court, the lawyer from the other side, everybody comes and make the argument. But when we have a special court, you see, we are just wonderful people. Seriously, because
I like when you say we're just wonderful people.
Because this has been something that's been on ground for a while. Okay, special court for this, special court for that. Don't forget that we even in the we know commercial court is there. Why can't they lump everything and still put it in the normal general court for the commercial? Because they know the importance of reason why that had to have a speedy tax. Now coming back to this, the Constitution is clear. Section 6 of Section 4 make provision for the National Assembly, the State Assembly to make laws for such court, for such special courts. But nobody is talking about this. We still have to wait to go over this for Gumi to come, for former President OBJ to say this. Well, I don't have issue. I have my reservation for Gumi, but I don't have issue in people, in some elders, trying to find solutions to how we can jetson or take this out of our system. So in the nutshell, if special courts are created, it will speed up. It will speed up the prosecution. Right. You see, people will see what is happening. People will not think, they just make noise about it. In the end, nothing has happened.
Okay. Let me make Bosun react to this now, because he established earlier that he doesn't see headway in that regard. Right. What do you think? Olainka Ladanes is saying it will speed up the process of
with due respect to my brother, he has outlined the problems with the judiciary. But you see, the narrative that accompanied the creation or the agitation for creation of this special court is suspicious. It's not as if, some bandits have been caught, then they now, maybe there was delay in trying them. No, there's not been anything like that. All we've heard about this new wave of banditry, has been trying to create a soft landing for them. That is what has created this suspicion. The courts are there. Section 251 of the Constitution talks about the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court. Section 252 talks about the same state high courts can handle these things. They have jurisdiction on civil matters. They have jurisdiction on criminal matters. They can always, banditry is a crime. If we start from there, then what stops the regular court from handling them? They can always do that. The courts have always been saddled with work and overload and what have you. But for this banditry, there's nothing special about them to create a special court for them. My brother has alluded to war crimes and all that. There are special courts for war crimes and all those things. We understand the international dynamics that goes on in that regard, but not for banditry. these are common criminals. Let's call a spade a spade. These are common criminals. Take them to the regular court. Try them the way they should be tried. Try them according to the laws, and let's see the result. But not because my fear for this, if you create a special court for them and to enhance speedy trial, well, not a bad thing to say, not a bad thing to do. But all this agitation for special court is in the light of some sinister motive. That's why I'm a bit apprehensive about this.
So it's about a certain feeling of it's possible there is a motive behind it.
I mean, from the narration, from the narrative, you've seen it. If people have come out, governors have come out to say bandits are not criminals, and they even try to do some PR in that regard, and you see that the whole thing is just a wash. Like, so what they're saying, so this same agitation is good if it will bring out something good. I mean, speedy trial, speedy prosecution. But from what the people that the proponents, I mean, people are not, he even said he's not comfortable with some of these proponents. So what, pushing for a special kind of court, before you know it, they will push for a special kind of law. Then before you know it, they'll push for a special, at the end of the day, we'll end up on the table of amnesty for people who have destroyed lives and properties. That's where this is leading.
All right. Olayinka, the point there is, if special courts are going to be created for these special cases, where will the lawyers come from?
Very well. Not just the lawyers.
Okay.
The judges.
Yeah, all
because
those
are the people that we have.
Where would they come
from? They're not going to come from cloud.
Yeah.
But they're going to come among us, meaning that we still need special training for those people. You see, it's not just going to be today. There are processes. Like I said, we've been talking about this for a number of years. Even outside the country, the international world, it didn't just happen at that particular place. You know why? There's an error in our grammatical how do I put it now, framework. We call these people banditry. My take, I will not call them that. They are not. You cannot tell me that someone you call a bandit is carrying a grenade. Grenade is not meant for human being. It's to demobilize or destroy armor tanks. So someone like that.
So the name the bandits is even less than what they are.
Look at what happened in Imo now.
Yeah.
Look at what happened in the East today. Now, what are they calling them? Hoodlums. We pick, English, and we call them all names. These people are terrorists. We have the laws that cover terrorism. Now look at what they have done. Is it included in these laws? Are they included in these laws? Their actions. So we should be careful by trying to, caress, and patch them and give them nice names. They are not. These people are terrorists.
That's why Bosu said doing PR, right? It's sort of kind of PR.
He's even emphasizing on banditry. I would not call them that. Those guys, what they are doing, it is not a banditry work. So we have to bring them to that terrorism. Then the laws, we still have laws. You see, most of these things people talk about, it's not as if law does not exist. The problem we have is enforcement. When we bring these laws together, when we have a special court, they will go through trainings. We know what happens. Even the normal court here, when you appoint judges, they go through training. They don't just sit. The same way.
But how long do you think it's going to take, if at all, you're going to recommend that?
Good. See, when you talk about how long, then we are not ready.
Okay.
A step at a time.
But if we don't sit down to count the cost of what we want to do, how do we achieve it? Because if you want, like you say, if you want to build a house, as much as you're going to start little, but you will count the cost to know you have a budget, you have a mindset, you know that this should cost us this, it should take this amount of time and all of that.
That is the beginning, because at all, you want to build a house, you must say I want this, right? That is what is happening today.
Okay.
Though this has been happening for a while, not just today. Okay, we want this, then how do we go? Because now they have talked about it. Tomorrow you may not hear about this again. For a while, maybe something happened. Okay, we talked about this. Let's even revisit, because they have been, this is not the first time they're going to raise the issue of a special court for this, for that. We heard of the anti-corruption crusade, special court for this, special court for that. So we're going to be having this until we take a step to start it. Let the National Assembly, the State Assembly, let them do their jobs. Let action begin.
Okay.
Then, somehow, we get somewhere.
But so let's assume that Nigeria and Nigerians want to toe that line. What would it take to set up a special court?
All right. By law, he talked about Section 6. And also, if you look at Section 251 of the 1999 Constitution, and also Section 252 talked about the National Assembly creating this thing, but it takes about 2/3 vote of the National Assembly. So there's a whole lot of process, getting this done. Then also in creating a special court, are you bringing from the regular judges, all right, or are you training special judges in this regard? Then are you expanding the scope of their work, or are we just narrowing to banditry, and or are we bringing in terrorism as well? These are all the things. But right now, whilst we are on, are we going to leave these people until the courts are created before we actually start prosecuting them? Because the basic angle I'm coming from is that these people are common criminals. Take them to the regular courts. Let's see. Then if there are issues with the regular court, or if the regular courts are not available or are not up to speed or are not adequate in prosecuting them properly as it should be done, then that's where we start talking about a special court. There's no extra, or there's no dynamism to the trial or prosecution of bandits for us to start creating new courts or start creating some special kind of court that will give them some special kind of treatment. Then also, it's not as if we've encountered certain problems with the regular courts handling their cases to now bring about the argument for special courts. So it's some people just sat somewhere, thought about this thing, and I mean, it's time we start looking at what we have. Do we even have the resources? Do we even have what it takes to get these things done, to put all these things in place? So whilst we're still thinking in that direction, I'm not knocking off the possibility of, getting a special court for them. But whilst we're doing that, let's still face what we have. Let's face the laws we have. Let's face the courts that we have, and let's prosecute those people adequately. That's my position.
Yeah, Olayinka, the setting up of new courts, would it not cost us so much? Because when you're talking about a new structure, a fresh structure for all of that, and then you're talking about training and all of that, wouldn't it cost Nigeria so much?
We're not going to space to establish what we're talking about. Seriously, because all these questions, we are not going to space.
So it's not rocket science?
It's not rocket science.
Okay.
It's not rocket science. The law is there. The establishment is there. It's clearly stated in subsections 6, even 5 for the Superior Court, and and 4 for the Special Court. It's clearly stated there. It's just to go into action to bring that into existence. Then what are we talking about? The judges are there. Now we just add new judges and all that. Some of them came in to go through training. It's not as if they know this job before. Some of them were even lawyers that have been, bringing, they brought them in to become judges. Some of them are lawyers. Some of them had not even done that before. So don't say that, okay, what are we going to spend? When we think of, he rightly said, it's not as if the court is not trying these people. It's not as if they are not prosecuting these people. But a lot of people are not aware. They only see the one when they talked about amnesty. They only see the one where they forgive some people. They bring them into whatever. They are prosecuting some of them. Now, when we have this special court, they know that this is court for this. So when they go, one, is speeding up this whole trial. Two, because there are still going to be some legal issues. And what are those legal issues? Because questions are going to arise to say, okay, how do we determine what terrorism is? How do we determine what banditry is? What constitutes all these things? Even when the laws are there, they're still going to be interpreting all this. So the reason why the National Assembly that take our own hard-earned money, taxpayers' money, and sitting doing nothing. Yes, start. We know it's going to go through first reading, second reading, and all that. Yes, this is going on. They are trying these people. They are prosecuting them. But when you are doing that, spring into action. And let us have this constituted also. Do your job. What is it not the same salary they are paying judges? Is it not? Okay, we as we speak, there are judges that are using 2 judges to a court. as we speak. Yes. This one will SQ, okay, maybe this one take from 9 to so time, another job, the same court. So there's so much to be done. Yes, infrastructure and all that, we have a lot to fix. Even presently, talking about creating another court for that, but we can. We have the resources. It's just that we don't have priorities. We waste money on unnecessary things.
I like when you say we have the resources.
Yes.
You know, when that line is made, sometimes it makes me feel proud as a Nigerian. But how that is translating in real terms, in tangible terms, is a totally different thing. Now, Bosundi, we recall that the president gave an order sometime that bandits or kidnappers who are in the bush, anyone who has guns and all of that, should be shot at sight. Now, when you consider that mix as to how we are approaching this issue, where do you, from that body language and that order and the way government is going about it, how does that contribute to this whole mix?
With all due respect to the president, I think he hasn't been hands-on on this matter. I mean, it's a matter on the front burner. Every day you wake up, and also it's so bad now that there's some ethnic coloration to the whole thing, and it looks like the whole country is going to burn. Unfortunately, I don't think the president has deployed enough resources to fight this thing. Waking up one day saying, shoot anybody carrying AK-47 on site, doesn't handle the matter. Since he said it, the thing hasn't abated. Every day you see videos, some doctored, some proper videos, where you see that people are on the express road, everybody starts running back. So it hasn't gone down. So the president's order or directive in that regard hasn't done much. Now, so if we look at it, you have not even, so nothing is, these people, and apart from the president, even look at the governors, because, I mean, they work in tandem. And the governors too, particularly in certain regions of the country, they haven't tried much in fighting this thing. Even those in the affected areas, I'll say Southwest, for example, you know, some of them are coming up with some groups like the Amotekun and all this thing, trying to fight this thing. But that's just one aspect of it. Now, we've also seen issues where, you know, they go burning and all that. Some of those things need proper review. I think we need to sit down as a people and look at it, because if you set up your own militia, or you set up your own I'm trying to look for the word to call this.
Well, you don't want to call them paramilitary.
I don't want to call them. No, but you know, some of the things they need to teach them is when you get hold of bandits or criminals in that regard, you don't have to kill them. You don't have the powers to do that. You have to actually be. But you see, it all boils down to trust. Okay. That's why they look at it that, okay, if we get them now and take them to these authorities, you know, and we've had all kinds of narratives in this regard. So people don't really trust the government. People don't trust the president. Some people have even come up with writings every day that the president is partial in treating these people because of the ethnic coloration. They say they are his people and all that, which is not correct, because we've seen some other people arrested who are even people from the South, who were disguising and, you know, parading themselves as people from this ethnicity that we ascribe banditry to. But in all, I think we need to sit down as a people and determine how we want to go and how we want to fight this thing.
Okay. Olayinka Daniels, just in 30 seconds, what do you think is the way forward ultimately against banditry, besides the issue of setting up courts?
I think first I will ask, how did we get here? Something brought us here. Who are the sponsors? Who are the people encouraging these people? If these people are discouraged because what we hear every time, the noise, everything is to encourage those people. Okay, then the media also has a role to play. You know, they give them all those shots, and everybody hears about them. Okay, what they are doing and all that, and they ask for ransom. And like Mr. El-Rufai, sorry, the governor El-Rufai said it the other time. Okay, someone that makes millions in a day or in a week, and you want him to go back to cows and probably make in a month, it may be 10,000 naira and all that. So how did we get here? I think what we should do before this whole court, because that statement from Mr. President, I did not hear him say that. They only said Mr. President said a lot of things attributed to Mr. President saying this, saying that, because I do not think the president I know will make such statement. Shoot aside, I mean, they have their right. They are Nigerian citizens. If we look at it, then you should do things accordingly and go to court. Now, to way forward, let us discourage these people first. Anyone that is caught right now, sorry if I'm going to use this word, you will not agree with me.
I hope it's a word that we can say on TV.
All these people. We need to discourage them.
What is the relationship?
How did it get how did it get guns get into the system?
Bosu may not agree with you on this.
I do not. That's the reason why I said the word may not agree with me.
Because if it is related to rape, maybe someone will say, but because that
using the word castration does not really mean it has to be that one.
Okay, all right. Let's leave it here now. But the message is clear anyway from what you're saying. Let's leave it here now. Olayinka Oladaniels, thank you so much for coming on the program. Olatunbosun Oshifora, thank you very much for coming as well.
Pleasure.
I really appreciate both.